My name is Sophie Harrison, and at 28, I never thought I'd be fighting for my life because of my stepbrother's cruel joke. I was born with a congenital heart condition that requires daily medication, something my stepbrother Marcus never understood or accepted. "You're just addicted to those pills," he'd say at family dinners, rolling his eyes whenever I took my medication. "It's all in your head. You're perfectly healthy." Marcus came into my life when I was 12, after my dad married his mother, Linda. While Linda tried to understand my medical needs, Marcus seemed to take my condition as a personal offense. Maybe it was because our parents' attention often focused on my health, or perhaps he just couldn't comprehend something he couldn't see. That Tuesday morning started like any other. I reached for my heart medication in the kitchen cabinet, the same routine I'd followed for years. But something felt off. The pills looked slightly different, a bit more glossy than usual. "Looking for these?" Marcus's voice came from behind me. He was holding my actual medication bottle, a smirk playing on his face. "What did you do?" I asked, my heart already racing, a dangerous situation for someone with my condition. "Relax," he said, tossing the bottle in the air and catching it. "I just switched them with some vitamins. You need to learn you're not actually sick. You're just dramatic." I felt my knees weaken. "Marcus, this isn't a joke. I need those pills. They keep my heart functioning properly." He rolled his eyes, that familiar look of contempt crossing his face. "You've been playing this sick card for years, getting everyone's attention, making dad and mom spend thousands on medication. Time to grow up, Sophie. Where are my real pills?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady despite the panic rising in my chest. "Somewhere safe," he grinned. "Don't worry, a few days without them won't kill you. Maybe it'll even prove my point." I grabbed my phone, ready to call our parents, but Marcus just laughed. "They're on their second honeymoon in Hawaii, remember? Go ahead, call them. By the time they get back, you'll have realized you never needed these pills in the first place." The next 3 days were a nightmare. I tried everything, calling my doctor, who was at a conference, searching the house, even threatening to call the police. But Marcus had hidden my medication well, and without proof that he'd taken them, it would be my word against his. By the third day, my body was showing signs of distress. My heart was racing, I was having difficulty breathing, and my vision was becoming blurry. Still, Marcus insisted I was faking it. "See? You're fine," he said that morning, watching me struggle to make coffee. "Just some withdrawal symptoms from your addiction." I never made it to work that day. As I was getting into my car, everything went black. The last thing I remember was the sound of my neighbor screaming as I collapsed in the driveway. I woke up in the intensive care unit, the steady beep of heart monitors surrounding me. A nurse was checking my vital signs, her face serious as she reviewed the numbers. "Ms. Harrison," she said, noticing I was awake, "we need to talk about your blood work." The look in her eyes told me this was more than just my known heart condition. She held up a chart, her expression grim. "We found something concerning in your system. These aren't just missing heart medications. There are traces of substances that could have killed you. Whoever tampered with your medication didn't just remove your heart pills. They replaced them with something potentially lethal." My mind raced back to Marcus's smug face as he tossed my pill bottle in the air. What exactly had he given me? And more importantly, had he known just how dangerous his joke would be? The nurse was already calling the doctor, but I could barely focus on their conversation. All I could think about was Marcus's words. "A few days without them won't kill you." But he had been wrong. So terribly wrong. The hospital room felt smaller when my parents rushed in, their Hawaiian vacation cut short by the emergency. My dad's face was ashen, and Linda, my stepmom, couldn't stop crying. Marcus stood in the doorway, his usual smugness replaced by something I'd never seen before: fear. "The toxicology report confirms it," Dr. Stevens explained, her voice firm as she addressed my family. "Sophie's blood work shows traces of beta blockers mixed with the vitamin supplements. For someone with her heart condition, this combination could have been fatal." "Beta blockers?" My dad's voice cracked. "But how?" "That's what we found in the capsules remaining in her pill bottle," the doctor continued, holding up a plastic evidence bag containing my medication container. "Someone deliberately tampered with her prescription." All eyes turned to Marcus. He'd gone pale, his hands shaking as he gripped the doorframe. "I didn't. I just put vitamins in there," he stammered. "I got them from my gym buddy. He said they were natural supplements." Linda's sob cut through the room. "Marcus, what have you done?" The police arrived shortly after. Detective Sarah Morgan sat beside my hospital bed, her notebook open as I recounted everything. Years of Marcus's dismissal of my condition, his taunts, and finally, the medication switch. Your stepbrother claims he was trying to help you, Detective Morgan said, her tone skeptical. Says he got the supplements from a friend at his gym, thought they were natural vitamins. He wanted to prove I was faking, I replied, my voice hoarse. He never believed I actually needed medication. The detective nodded, writing something down. We're investigating his gym contact. Illegal supplements are a serious matter, and combined with deliberately withholding prescribed medication. She didn't need to finish the sentence. I could see the gravity of the situation in her eyes. Outside my room, I could hear Marcus arguing with our parents. I didn't mean to hurt her. How was I supposed to know those pills were dangerous? Jake at the gym said they were just vitamins. You had no right. My father's voice thundered. No right to touch her medication, to play doctor, to decide what she does or doesn't need. Linda's voice joined in, unusually stern. Do you understand you could have killed your stepsister? Does that mean anything to you? The hospital kept me for observation for another week. During that time, the full scope of what Marcus had done became clear. His friend Jake from the gym was arrested for selling unlicensed supplements, pills that contained various unauthorized substances, including the beta blockers that had nearly stopped my heart. Marcus was charged with criminal negligence and tampering with prescription medication. His defense that he didn't know the supplements were dangerous didn't hold up, especially since he'd admitted to deliberately hiding my prescribed medication. One evening, as I was preparing to be discharged, Linda came to see me alone. Her eyes were red from crying, but her voice was steady. I failed you, Sophie, she said, taking my hand. I saw how Marcus treated you, how he dismissed your condition. I should have stopped it years ago. Maybe if I had. It's not your fault, I assured her, though part of me had always wondered why she never firmly addressed his behavior. He's my son, and I love him, she continued, wiping her eyes. But what he did was unforgivable. He needs to face the consequences of his actions. I squeezed her hand, seeing the pain of a mother torn between her children. I never wanted this to happen, I said softly. I just wanted him to understand. Understanding might come too late, she replied, but it will come. As I packed my things to leave the hospital, I found a letter Marcus had left with one of the nurses. His handwriting was messy, unlike his usually perfect penmanship. Sophie, I know sorry isn't enough. I was stupid and arrogant. I thought I knew better than doctors, better than you. I thought I was teaching you a lesson, but I'm the one who learned something. I learned that my pride and ignorance could have killed my stepsister. I'll never forgive myself for that. Marcus. The letter felt heavy in my hands, weighted with years of rivalry, dismissal, and finally, regret. But as Dr. Stevens had said, some damage can't be undone with just an apology. 6 months after the incident, I sat in the courthouse, watching Marcus stand before the judge. He looked different, thinner, subdued, the cockiness that had defined him completely gone. Our parents sat behind me, Linda quietly crying while my father held her hand. Mr. Harrison, the judge addressed Marcus, her voice stern. Your actions showed a disturbing disregard for human life. While you claim ignorance about the dangerous supplements, you deliberately withheld life-saving medication from your stepsister. Marcus nodded, his shoulders slumped. The judge continued, however, considering your clean prior record and your guilty plea, I'm sentencing you to 18 months in prison, followed by 3 years of probation. You'll also be required to complete 500 hours of community service at the cardiac ward of County Hospital. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Marcus would be spending his community service hours helping patients with the very conditions he'd once dismissed. After the sentencing, before the officers led him away, Marcus asked to speak to me. Our parents waited anxiously as we talked under the supervision of his lawyer. I've been taking classes, he said, his voice quiet, learning about cardiac conditions, about what you deal with every day. I never understood. I was so convinced I knew better. He paused, swallowing hard. The doctors at the hospital showed me what could have happened if they hadn't found me in time. I saw the simulations. Stop. I interrupted. I don't need you to describe how you could have, Kimmy. I lived it. He flinched but nodded. I know no amount of apologies can fix this, but I want you to know I'll spend every day trying to make amends. As the officers led him away, Linda broke down completely. My father held her as she sobbed. Both my children. I've lost both my children. No, I said firmly, surprising myself. You haven't lost me. And Marcus, maybe he needed to lose himself to find something better. The next year brought changes none of us had expected. I started speaking at medical conferences about patient advocacy and the dangers of medication interference. My story resonated with others who'd had their conditions dismissed or minimized by family members. Linda threw herself into support groups for families dealing with chronic health conditions, learning everything she could about my heart condition and helping other parents understand their children's medical needs. Marcus wrote to me from prison, not asking for forgiveness, but sharing what he was learning. He joined a prison education program focusing on healthcare ethics. His letters showed glimpses of someone I'd never known, someone who was finally willing to listen and learn. Today, I met an inmate with the same heart condition as you. One letter read. He explained what it feels like, the daily challenges, the constant awareness of your own heartbeat. I sat there thinking about all the times I called you dramatic or attention-seeking. I wish I could take back every word. On the anniversary of my collapse, I received an unexpected call from the cardiac ward where Marcus now served his community service hours. Dr. Stevens, who had treated me during my emergency, was supervising his service. Your stepbrother told his story to our young patients today, she said, about how his ignorance and arrogance almost cost his stepsister's life. One of our teenage patients finally agreed to stay on his medication after hearing Marcus speak. Sometimes the most powerful advocates are reformed skeptics. I hung up the phone and looked at the latest family photo on my wall, taken at Christmas, with an empty space where Marcus should have been. His actions had shattered our family's trust, but somehow, from those broken pieces, something new was emerging. Linda and my dad started a foundation focusing on family education about chronic health conditions. They named me as the director, turning our family's tragedy into a mission to prevent others from making the same mistakes. Your brother's joke almost ended your life, my dad said during the foundation's first meeting, but it also started something important. Sometimes it takes nearly losing everything to understand what matters. As I organize our first awareness campaign, I keep Marcus's letter on my desk as a reminder. Not of the brother who almost killed me, but of how ignorance and dismissal can be as dangerous as any illness. Our foundation's motto, printed on every brochure, reads, "Understanding is the best medicine." Marcus will serve his time, and our relationship may never fully heal, but his joke did teach us all something, just not the lesson he'd intended. It taught us that health isn't a matter of opinion, that love without respect can be dangerous, and that sometimes the hardest lessons leave the most lasting change. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria, buried under textbooks and desperately cramming for my business administration finals at this fancy university in Boston. My roommate, Maya, walks in, looking like she hasn't slept in days. Victoria, you're still going at it. It's 2 a.m. I rub my eyes, realizing I've completely lost track of time. Yeah, Professor Adams's exam is going to be brutal. I can't afford to slack off now. Maya flops onto her bed. At least you've got Jack to study with. I saw you two at the library earlier. Anything happening there? My cheeks heat up. Oh, stop it. We're just friends. Just then my phone buzzes. It's my sister Diana. I hesitate before answering. Victoria. Oh my God, you'll never guess what's happening. Her voice is nearly a scream. I pull the phone away from my ear. Diana, it's late. What's going on? Eric is going to propose. I just know it. He's been acting so secretive and romantic lately. I sigh, already knowing where this is headed. That's great, Diana. Congrats. But listen, I need you to plan the surprise engagement party. It has to be perfect. My stomach drops. Diana, I can't. My finals are... Oh, come on. This is way more important than some silly tests. Mom and Dad's restaurant would be perfect for the venue, and I'm thinking at least 100 guests. I try to interject, but she keeps going, steamrolling over me with demands and ideas. Maya shoots me a sympathetic look. Diana, I really can't. These exams are crucial for my future. Future. Please, this is about family. Don't be so selfish, Victoria. Guilt creeps in, as it always does. Our immigrant parents worked so hard to give us these opportunities. Diana's always been the successful one, and I hear myself give in. Fine, I'll figure something out. As I hang up, Maya shakes her head. Victoria, you can't keep letting her walk all over you like that. I bury my face in my hands. I know, but she's family. What am I supposed to do? Maya gets up and hugs me. We'll figure it out together. But for now, you need sleep. As I try to drift off, my mind races. How am I going to balance party planning with my exams? And why do I always let Diana manipulate me like this? Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a drama that would turn my life upside down. A few days later, I'm hunched over my laptop in the campus library, trying to make sense of the party budget, when Jack slides into the seat across from me. Hey Victoria, you look stressed. I rub my temples. That obvious, huh? Want to talk about it? I spill everything about Diana's ridiculous demands. Jack's eyes widen as I list off the extravagances. A chocolate fountain for an engagement party, and a live band, and over 100 guests. Jack whistles. That's insane. How are you supposed to afford all that? I'm not. That's the problem. My phone buzzes. It's Diana again. I answer, putting it on speaker. Victoria, I've been thinking. We need to change the venue. Mom and Dad's restaurant is too small. I found this amazing ballroom downtown. Diana, stop. We can't afford that. I'm already stretching my budget. Your budget. This is my engagement we're talking about. Remember when I helped you move into your dorm? You owe me. I feel my face flush with anger and embarrassment. Jack raises an eyebrow. That's not the same thing, and you know it. I say. Whatever. Just make it happen. Oh, and I decided Maya and Jack can't help. I don't trust them to do it right. She hangs up before I can respond. I look at Jack, mortified. I'm so sorry about that. He shakes his head. Don't apologize for her, Victoria. You need to stand up to her. Later that week, I'm in Professor Adams' office trying to explain my recent poor performance without mentioning Diana. Victoria, you're one of my brightest students. What's going on? I stammer through a vague excuse about family obligations. He doesn't look convinced. That night, I'm on the phone with Diana again. My patience wearing thin. For the last time, we can't afford pyrotechnics. You're not even trying. This is the most important day of my life. Something in me snaps. No, Diana. Your wedding would be the most important day. This is just an engagement party that your boyfriend doesn't even know about. How dare you? You've always been jealous of me. Just because you're in college doesn't make you better than me. I'm stunned by the venom in her voice. Is that what you think? That I'm trying to be better than you? Oh please, with your fancy degree and your perfect grades. Some of us had to work in the real world. Diana, I am working. These exams are my job right now. They're important for my future. She scoffs. Future? Wake up, Victoria. A piece of paper won't guarantee you success. Look at me. I'm the one with the amazing career and the perfect boyfriend. Tears prick my eyes. If your life is so perfect, why do you need me to validate it with this ridiculous party? There's a long silence, and when Diana speaks again, her voice is icy. You know what? Forget it. I'll plan it myself. Don't bother showing up. She hangs up, and I sit there, phone in hand, feeling a strange mix of relief and guilt. Did I just ruin my relationship with my sister? And why do I still feel bad when she's the one being unreasonable? I stare at my phone, my finger hovering over the block contact button next to Diana's name. You okay? Maya asks, watching me from her bed. I nod, not trusting my voice. She doesn't push, but I can see the concern in her eyes. The next few days blur into a mess of textbooks and coffee. I'm in the library, trying to focus on macroeconomics, when Jack slides into the seat next to me. Hey, how's it going? I gesture to the mountain of papers around me. Oh, living the dream. He chuckles, then his expression turns serious. Listen, Maya and I have been looking into something. I raise an eyebrow. What kind of something? It's about Diana and Eric. We found some stuff online that's concerning. My stomach drops. What kind of stuff? Jack pulls out his laptop and shows me some articles and court documents. As I start reading, I feel like I'm going to be sick. Eric is under investigation for embezzlement, a history of fraud. Jack continues, his voice quiet. And there's more. We dug into Diana's financials. She's not as successful as she claims. She's drowning in debt. I shake my head, not wanting to believe it. How? She's always bragging about her big commissions, her designer clothes. It's all a front. credit card debt, loans. She's living way beyond her means. I sit back stunned. All those demands for an extravagant party. Was she expecting me to foot the bill? The next few days pass in a haze. I go through my exams on autopilot, my mind reeling from everything I've learned. After my last test, I walk out feeling a mix of relief and dread. My phone buzzes with messages from my parents. Victoria, call us immediately. Why would you abandon your sister like this? We raised you better than that. My hands shake as I dial. Victoria, how could you do this to Diana? My mom's voice is sharp with disappointment. Do what? What did she tell you? She said you refused to help with her engagement party. That you told her you were too good for family now that you're in college. Anger surges through me. That's not what happened at all. Then explain, my dad says, his voice calm but stern. So I do. I tell them everything. Diana's unreasonable demands, the pressure she put on me during my exams, the guilt tripping. I even tell them about Eric's shady past and Diana's financial troubles. There's a long silence when I finish. Finally, my mom speaks, her voice softer now. Oh, Victoria, why didn't you tell us sooner? Tears well up in my eyes. I didn't want to disappoint you. Diana's always been the successful one, and I thought, sweetheart, my dad interrupts, we're proud of you. Your education is important. We had no idea Diana was putting so much pressure on you. We talk for a while longer, and for the first time in weeks, I feel like I can breathe. But I know this isn't over. Diana won't take this lying down, and I have a feeling the real storm is yet to come. I text Maya and Jack. We need to talk. It's time to confront Diana. The next evening, I walk into my parents' restaurant. The familiar smell of spices does little to calm my nerves. Maya and Jack flank me, their presence reassuring. My parents are already there, setting up for our family dinner. Diana sweeps in fashionably late, as usual. Sorry I'm late, traffic was terrible. She pauses, noticing Maya and Jack. What are they doing here? Before I can respond, my dad speaks up. Diana, sit down, we need to talk. Her eyes narrow. About what? I take a deep breath. About everything, your engagement party, the lies, all of it. For the next hour, I lay it all out, the unreasonable demands, the guilt tripping, the years of manipulation. My parents listen, their faces growing more troubled with each revelation. You've been lying about your success. My mom's voice is barely above a whisper. Diana scoffs. Please, like Little Miss Perfect here, hasn't been exaggerating. No, Diana, my dad interrupts firmly. This isn't about Victoria, it's about you. Just then, the door chimes. We all turn to see Eric walk in, looking confused at the tense atmosphere. Did I miss something? He asks. Diana jumps up. Eric, thank goodness you're here. Tell them about our engagement plans. Eric's confusion deepens. Engagement plans? What are you talking about? The room goes silent. Diana's face pales. The proposal, you've been acting so secretive lately, I thought. Eric runs a hand through his hair. Diana. Eric shifts uncomfortably, his gaze dropping. That wasn't a secret project, Diana. I'm under investigation for financial irregularities at work. The truth spills out, Eric's fraudulent activities, his impending legal troubles. Diana collapses into a chair, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. In the aftermath of this revelation, I make the difficult decision to cut ties with her. It's painful, but for my own well-being, it's necessary. Weeks later, I stand in my graduation gown, diploma in hand. Despite everything, I've managed to graduate with honors and even landed a prestigious internship. Maya and Jack are cheering from the audience, and my parents beam with pride as we celebrate at a small, intimate gathering afterward. My phone buzzes with a news alert. Eric has been arrested for embezzlement. I feel a twinge of sadness for Diana, but quickly push it aside. Just then, another message comes through. It's from Diana. Congratulations on graduating. I know I messed up. Can we talk? I stare at the text for a long moment, then delete it without responding. I've learned the hard way that some toxic relationships aren't worth saving, no matter how much history you share. As I look around at the people who truly support me, my parents, Maya, Jack, and even Professor Adams, who has dropped by to congratulate me, I feel a sense of peace. I've weathered the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Hey, what are you thinking about? Maya asks, noticing my distraction. I smile, slipping my phone into my pocket, just grateful for the people who really have my back. We laugh and celebrate, and I know that whatever challenges come next, I'm ready to face them on my own terms. The story has come to an end, but I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have given Diana another chance after everything that happened, or do you think cutting ties was the right call? It's a tough situation many of us face with toxic family members. Where do we draw the line between family loyalty and self-preservation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hi, I'm Sandra, 32 years old and fresh out of law school. I've been hustling at a small firm and recently moved into this cute little house with a gorgeous garden. It's nothing grand, but it's mine, and I love it. Then I met Derek. Tall, handsome, and rich. His family had more money than I'd ever seen. We fell for each other fast, and before I knew it, we were saying our vows. At first, it felt like a fairy tale. Derek was sweet, supportive, and surprisingly, he loved my garden almost as much as I did. And then I met his mother, Vivian. Vivian was a force. The first time she visited our home, she glanced around like she'd walked into something unpleasant. "Oh, darling," she cooed, her voice laced with false sweetness. "How quaint. I suppose this is charming for someone of your background." I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. Derek squeezed my hand and whispered, "Ignore her, babe. She's just being mom." But it didn't stop there. At every family dinner and holiday, Vivian found a way to remind me I didn't belong in her world. "Quaint, dear, do try the foie gras." "Oh wait, you probably don't know what that is." Derek would always jump to my defense. "Mom, knock it off. Sandra's a lawyer, not an idiot." I appreciated his support, but a part of me wished he'd just tell her to back off entirely. Things hit a breaking point at the annual family barbecue. I had spent weeks perfecting my garden, planting colorful flowers, setting up a little vegetable patch. When Vivian arrived, she wrinkled her nose in disgust. "Oh, Sandra, you didn't actually spend money on this, did you? It looks so cheap." "Derek, darling, you really should hire a proper landscaper. This looks like something from a trailer park." The silence that followed was suffocating. My face burned with embarrassment, and tears stung at the corners of my eyes. Before I could respond, Derek finally stepped in. "That's enough, Mom." But after the barbecue, the tension only grew. Vivian seemed to be around constantly, her presence like a dark cloud over our home. She dropped by unannounced, offering unsolicited advice on everything: our decor, our meals. "Darling," she'd say to Derek, "you simply must replace these interesting curtains Sandra chose. They're not exactly fitting for someone of your status." At first, Derek brushed her off, but gradually I noticed a shift. He'd start eyeing our furniture with a critical gaze or make comments about my outfits. One evening, as I was getting ready for a work dinner, Derek frowned. "Don't you have something a little more sophisticated?" I felt like I'd been slapped. "What's wrong with this? I thought you liked this dress." He shrugged. "It's fine, I guess. Mom just mentioned it might not be appropriate for certain events." I bit my tongue, trying to avoid a fight, but the whole exchange left me rattled. Things finally came to a head when I was leaving for a week-long conference. As I packed, Vivian swooped in, all fox concern. "Oh, Sandra, leaving Derek all alone. I do hope he'll manage without you." Forcing a smile, I replied, "I'm sure he'll survive, Vivian. It's just a week." But as I boarded my flight, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Throughout the conference, my thoughts kept drifting back home. Derek's phone calls became shorter, his tone more distant. By the time I was heading back, I was a bundle of nerves. Nothing could have prepared me for what I saw when I pulled into the driveway. Where my beautiful garden once stood, there was now a garage pool, complete with fake rock formations and a tacky tiki bar. My heart dropped. I stumbled out of the car. "Derek, what have you done to my garden?" He stepped out, looking sheepish. "Surprise? Surprise? What have you done?" Before he could answer, Vivian appeared, smug as ever. "Oh, Sandra, don't be so dramatic. We've improved your little patch. Now you have a proper entertaining space." I looked to Derek, desperate for support, but he wouldn't even meet my eyes. "Babe, Mom thought it would be a nice surprise. You've always said you wish we could entertain more." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They destroyed something I loved, something I'd nurtured for years. Vivian tasked, Really, Sandra, you should be grateful. That pool cost more than your entire house. That's when I snapped. Grateful? For what? For you coming into my home and destroying something I cared about. For undermining me at every turn. For turning my own husband against me. Derek finally looked at me, his face hardening. That's enough, Sandra. You're being hysterical. Mom was just trying to do something nice for us. You should be grateful. In that moment, I saw just how far gone Derek was, how completely Vivian had sunk her claws into him. It felt like I was drowning, standing there in front of that monstrosity of a pool. Grateful? I whispered. Right. Well, here's what I'm grateful for, Derek. I'm grateful that I now know exactly where I stand in this marriage, and it's clearly not by your side. I turned and walked back to my car, ignoring Derek's frantic calls. As I drove away, I caught a glimpse of Vivian in my rearview mirror. She was smiling, triumphant. But this wasn't over, not by a long shot. Vivian might think she'd won, but she had no idea who she was messing with. It was time to show her, and Derek, exactly what this cheap girl from the wrong side of the tracks was capable of. That night, I ended up at Zoe's place, spilling my guts over a bottle of wine. Girl, that woman is straight up crazy, Zoe said, shaking her head. And Derek? He needs to grow a spine. I sighed. Tell me about it. I just don't know what to do anymore. You focus on you, Zoe said, her voice firm. Show them what you're made of. And that's exactly what I did. I threw myself into work, taking on extra cases and staying late at the office. Before long, I was making waves at the firm. One night, I overheard Derek on the phone with his dad. I don't have dad. Mom's been acting weird lately. She bought a yacht last week. A yacht. We don't even live near water. My lawyer senses tingled. Something wasn't adding up. At the next family dinner, I casually brought up investments with Derek's dad. Oh, Vivian handles all that, he said, waving his hand dismissively. She's got quite the knack for it. But his eyes told a different story. That's when I started digging, using every skill I'd honed working on white-collar crime cases. What I found made my jaw drop. Vivian wasn't just spending recklessly, she was bleeding the family dry. Risky investments, secret accounts, even what looked like embezzlement from Derek's trust fund. I tried to talk to Derek about it, but he shut me down hard. Don't be ridiculous, Sandra, he snapped. Mom knows what she's doing. Just because you grew up poor doesn't mean you understand how real money works. His words stung, but they also lit a fire inside me. I might not have grown up with real money, but I knew the law, and what Vivian was doing wasn't just unethical, it was illegal. I started gathering evidence, meticulously documenting every transaction and shady deal. If Derek wouldn't listen, I'd make sure someone would. One night, Zoe caught me burning the midnight oil at the office. Spill it, she demanded. What's got you looking like you haven't slept in a week? I hesitated, then laid it all out. Zoe's eyes widened with every word. Holy crap, Sandra, this is big. What are you going to do? I took a deep breath. I'm going to take her down, Zoe, not just for me, but for Derek and his entire family. They might not appreciate me now, but I'll be damned if I let Vivian ruin them. Zoe nodded, a slow smile spreading across her face. Count me in. That woman doesn't know who she's messing with. As we started planning, I felt a surge of determination. Vivian thought she'd won when she destroyed my garden, but she had only planted the seeds of her own downfall. The next few weeks were a blur of late nights and secret meetings. I called in favors, dug deeper into Vivian's past, and built an airtight case. Meanwhile, Derek was falling deeper under his mother's spell, criticizing everything I did, from my clothes to my cooking. But I barely noticed. I was too focused on the endgame. One night, as I was reviewing some documents, I stumbled upon something that made my blood run cold. Vivian wasn't just mismanaging the family's money, she was secretly funneling it into offshore accounts. This was it, the smoking gun I needed. I leaned back in my chair, my mind racing. With this evidence, I could bring Vivian down for good. But it also meant exposing Derek's family to public scrutiny and potential financial ruin. For a moment, I hesitated. Despite everything, a part of me still cared about Derek. Did I really want to do this to him? Then I remembered the garden, the constant put-downs, and the way he'd chosen Vivian over me, again and again. My resolve hardened. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about justice. If Derek couldn't see that, well, That was on him. I picked up my phone and dialed Zoe's number. "It's time," I said when she answered. "We're taking Vivian down." Taking a deep breath, I laid out the files on the dining room table. "Derek, we need to talk." He sighed. "What now, Sandra?" "Another issue with Mom." "Just look," I said, pushing the documents toward him. At first he was dismissive, but as he read through the evidence, his face went pale. This can't be right." "It is," I said firmly. "Your mother has been embezzling from your family for years." Derek shook his head, unable to process it. "We need to talk to Dad." The family meeting was a disaster. Vivian screeched and denied everything. But the evidence was irrefutable. Her erratic behavior only confirmed my concerns about her mental state. "You ungrateful little gold digger," she screamed at me. "After everything I've done for this family." That's when Derek finally snapped out of this fog. "Enough, Mom. Look at yourself." Months passed. Vivian went into treatment and the family began to heal. As for me, I was thriving. I had started my own law firm, specializing in financial fraud cases. The irony wasn't lost on me. With my success came the ability to buy my dream home. The first thing I did, plant a garden. But not just any garden. This one was spectacular, filled with rare flowers and winding paths. It was everything I had ever wanted, and more. I smiled, feeling a sense of pride I had never experienced before. This was all mine. I had built this from the ground up. I had faced down classism, toxic relationships, and come out on top. I thought about Derek and Vivian, about all the times they had made me feel small. But now, sitting in my own piece of paradise, I felt nothing but gratitude. They had tried to break me, but instead they had made me stronger. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over my flowers, I smiled. This garden, this home, this life, it was all mine, and I had earned every single bit of it. This was my happily ever after, on my own terms. And it was more perfect than I could have ever imagined. And that's the end of Sandra's journey. Now here's a question for you. Was Sandra right to expose Vivian's financial misdeeds, even though it could potentially harm Derek's family? Or should she have found another way to address the situation? This isn't just about right and wrong. It's about the gray areas we navigate in toxic relationships. Where do we draw the line between loyalty and self-preservation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hey, I'm Sherry, a 32-year-old traffic cop. I've got a badge, a whistle, and a never-ending curiosity. Life's been pretty solid. I love my job keeping the streets safe. And then there's Liam, my husband. He's 34, a hotshot real estate agent with a smile so smooth he could sell ice to an Eskimo. But here's the kicker. I'm adopted. Yep, plot twist right at the start. I've always known, but lately it's been nagging at me. Who are my birth parents? Why'd they give me up? Do I have my mom's eyes or my dad's nose? One morning, I'm at our kitchen table, fiddling with my coffee mug, deep in thought. Liam walks in, suited up for work. "You okay, babe? You look like you're trying to solve world peace over that coffee." I take a deep breath. "Liam, I think I want to find my birth parents." He freezes for a second, then sits across from me. "Are you sure? That's a big step." "I know, but I can't shake this feeling. I need to know where I came from." Liam nods, but he looks a bit pale. "If that's what you want, I support you 100%. I smile, feeling a weight lift. "Thanks, Honorable. I've been thinking about hiring a private investigator." "A PI? Isn't that a bit much?" he asks, eyebrows raised. I shrug. "Maybe, but I don't know where else to start. I've got a name, Sam Cooper, supposed to be the best in the business." Liam nods again, but it's like he's mentally solving a Rubik's Cube. "Okay, if that's what you want. Just be careful." Always am. Officer safety, remember. That afternoon, I meet with Sam. He's got the whole noir detective vibe, trench coat and all. "So, Miss Sherry, what can you tell me about your adoption?" I hand him a folder. Not much. Born June 15, 1992, at St. Mary's Hospital. Adopted 2 weeks later through Sunshine Adoptions. That's about it. Sam flips through the papers. No medical history? Nothing. Blank slate, I say. He nods, scribbling in a notebook. "All right, I'll dig through hospital records and agency files." It's not much, but it's a start. "How long do you think it'll take?" I ask, trying to ignore the butterflies in my stomach. Sam leans back, tapping his pen. Hard to say. Could be weeks, maybe months. These things are never straightforward. I nod, trying to stay calm. Okay, just keep me posted, yeah? Will do, Miss Sherry. And hey, you sure you want to do this? Sometimes the past is better left in the past. I straighten up, adjusting my uniform. I'm sure, I need to know. Later, I get a text from Liam. Everything okay? Love you. I reply, all good. Pay is on the case. Love you too. But as I hit send, I can't shake this feeling that I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. 2 months crawl by. Sam sends vague updates, making progress, following leads. But it's Liam who's really throwing me off. My usually chatty husband has turned into a clam. One night, I'm on the couch scrolling through my phone when he walks in and practically jumps out of his skin. Geez, Jerry, didn't see you there. I've been here for an hour. You okay? He runs a hand through his hair, avoiding eye contact. Yeah, just work stuff. But I don't buy it. Something feels off. The next day at work, I'm knee-deep in paperwork when my partner, Tanya, drops a file on my desk. Hit and run on 5th and Main. Victims in the hospital, but get this, the perp? Some big shot businessman, Victor Reeves. Ring any bells? I whistle. The real estate mogul. Yeah, I've seen his mug on billboards. Tanya leans in. Word is he's got connections. Might get messy. As we head out to canvass the scene, I spill my guts to Tanya. So get this, I hired a PI to find my birth parents. Her eyes widen. No way, any luck. Sam says he's making progress, but Liam's been acting weird ever since I started this. Weird how? Jumpy. Distracted. Like he's hiding something. Maybe he's planning a surprise, she jokes. I snort. Yeah, surprise, I've been keeping your birth parents in our basement for years. We both laugh, but that uneasy feeling lingers. Later that afternoon, my phone rings. It's Sam. Sherry, I've got news. Big news. But it's complicated. Can you meet at my office? Heart pounding, I rush over. Sam looks exhausted. Sit down, Sherry. I found your birth mother. The world stopped spinning. You did. Who is she? Where? Sam holds up a hand. That's the complicated part. Your birth mother is Linda Hawthorne. I blink, confused. Linda Hawthorne? As in, Liam's mom. My mother-in-law. Sam nods slowly. I triple-checked. It's her. The room spins. I grab the desk to steady myself. But that's impossible. Liam would have known. He would have told me. Then it hits me. Liam's strange behavior. His nervousness when I mentioned the PI. He knew, I whisper. He knew all along. Before Sam can stop me, I'm out the door, dragging home like a woman possessed. Liam is in the living room when I burst in. Did you know? My voice shakes. Did you know that your mother is my birth mother? That where? Oh God, are we related? Liam goes pale. Sherry, I can explain. Explain what? That your mom is my birth mom. That. No, we're not related, I swear, he says, frantic. I found out when we started dating. I saw a picture of you as a baby in my mom's old things, and I knew. Liam's voice wavers, his eyes wide with guilt. My stomach churns. I feel like I'm going to be sick. And you never thought to tell me, or tell her? I wanted to. But Mom, she doesn't know. She thinks you're just her daughter-in-law. I was afraid, if she found out. Before I can respond, Liam's phone rings. He answers it, and as I watch, all the color drains from his face. What? When? We'll be right there, he says. He looks at me, his eyes filled with fear. It's Mom. She's been in a car accident. We need to get to the hospital. Now. And just like that, my world tilts on its axis again. The fluorescent lights at the hospital feel harsh, giving me a headache. Or maybe it's the weight of everything I'm trying to process. Liam and I rush through the emergency room doors, and there she is, Linda. My mother-in-law. My birth mother. She looks so small in that hospital bed, bruised and hooked up to machines. Oh, Sherry, Liam, thank goodness you're here, Linda says, her voice weak but relieved. I freeze, unsure how to react. Do I hug her? Cry? Scream? I can't move. Liam squeezes my hand, silently pleading with me to keep it together. "Hey Mom," he says, his voice cracking. "How are you feeling?" Linda gives us an update. Broken arm, some bruised ribs, nothing life-threatening. I nod along, feeling detached from the moment, like I'm watching it all unfold from outside my body. This woman gave birth to me, and she has no idea. Later in the hallway, Liam pulls me aside. "Sherry, please," he whispers, his voice desperate. "We can't tell her. Not now, it would destroy her." I want to laugh, or maybe cry. Destroy her? What about me, Liam? Do you have any idea what this is doing to me? His eyes are filled with regret. I know, and I'll tell you everything, I swear. Just, not here, not now. I take a deep breath, counting to 10 in my head. Fine, but when we get home, you're telling me everything. No more secrets. The drive home is silent, heavy with unspoken words. As soon as we walk through the door, I round on Liam. Talk. Now. He collapses onto the couch, looking defeated. Mom had me when she was 16. It was complicated. She was dating this older guy, Victor Reeves. My cop instincts kick in. Wait, Victor Reeves? The hit-and-run suspect? Liam nods. Yeah, that's him. He's probably my father, but Mom never confirmed it. Anyway, 2 years after I was born, she got pregnant again. But Victor, he forced her to give the baby up for adoption. He threatened to take me away if she didn't. My head spins. And that baby was me, I whisper. Lamb looks up, guilt etched on his face. I found out when we started dating. I saw a baby picture of you at Mom's house, and I just knew. I did some digging, confirmed it, but I was scared. If I told you, I thought I'd lose you. If I told Mom, it would bring up all the pain she tried to bury. I start pacing, trying to make sense of it all. So you just decided to keep this massive secret. Let me search for my birth parents while you knew the truth all along. I'm sorry, Liam says, his voice barely a whisper. I thought I was protecting everyone. But something isn't adding up. Liam, if Victor Reeves is your father and your mom's ex, why is he still involved? Why was he in a hit-and-run in our city? Liam looks confused. I don't know. Mom hasn't mentioned him in years. A horrible thought strikes me. Liam, what if the hit-and-run wasn't an accident? What if it's connected to all of this somehow? He pales. You don't think? I don't know what to think, I say, already grabbing my coat, but I need to go back to the hospital. There's something I need to check. What are you going to do? Liam asks, looking worried. I pause at the door. Something that could get me fired if I'm caught. But I need to know the truth. Back at the hospital, I wait until the night shift starts, then quietly slip into Linda's room. I carefully swab the inside of her cheek while she sleeps, then head home and do the same to Liam while he's passed out on the couch. As I seal the DNA samples in evidence bags, my hands are shaking. This is it, the moment of truth. Whatever these results show, there's no going back. I stare at the sealed bags, feeling the weight of my badge in my pocket. I'm crossing a line here, using police resources for personal reasons. But I need answers. I need answers, and something tells me this goes much deeper than a long-lost family reunion. As I drive to the lab, my mind is racing. Victor Reeves, the hit and run, Linda's accident, my adoption. How does it all connect? And more importantly, what am I going to do when I finally uncover the truth? The DNA results hit me like a ton of bricks. Linda is my mother, but Liam? He's not even related to me. My entire life feels like a lie unraveling in slow motion. I confront Linda at the hospital. She breaks down, finally spilling everything. Victor Reeves had threatened to take Liam away if she didn't give me up. She's been carrying the weight of that guilt for years. Using my cop instincts, I dig into Victor's past. What I find is a cesspool of fraud, blackmail, and manipulation. Teaming up with Tanya, we plan a sting operation. It's risky, but it pays off. We catch Victor red-handed, not only for the hit and run, but also for his long list of past crimes against Linda and countless others. As for Liam, I can't forgive him for all the years of deception. Our marriage is over. He loses his real estate license when his involvement with Victor's fraud comes to light. It's the end of our relationship, but the beginning of a new chapter for me. Now I'm focusing on my career and personal growth. Linda and I have a cautious, delicate relationship. It's not perfect, but at least now, it's honest. Looking back, this journey has been painful, but it's also made me stronger. I've learned that family isn't just about blood. It's about trust and honesty. As I sit at my desk at the precinct, I can't help but smile. I've survived the lies, the betrayal, and somehow, I've come out stronger. I'm Sherry, traffic cop extraordinaire, and I'm ready for whatever life throws at me next. Hey, Tanya. I call out to my partner, grabbing my hat. Ready to hit the streets? She grins, tossing me my badge. Born ready, partner. As we head out into the city, I feel a sense of peace. The truth may have turned my world upside down, but it's also set me free, and that's a kind of justice I never knew I needed. Now I have a question for you. If you were in Sherry's shoes, would you have confronted Linda with the truth right away, or kept it secret to protect her? How far would you go to uncover the truth about your past, even if it meant risking your current relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below.